Welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Campbell.
You know, I've checked my watch here, and I can confirm it is podcast o'clock. Right on time. Every time. We're right on time every week. People don't give us enough credit for that.
Yeah, I think it's rude of them, in fact. I just realized that the neighbors started using a power tool right now.
Yeah,
and you can hear that, okay?
Yeah. Vaguely we could hear it. Look, we can either be on podcast o'clock every time or have wonderful production quality. It's irresponsible of you, the listener, to expect both.
Beggars can't be choosers, is what we've always said. So put up with it, I think. Here's another thing that you should put up with as a listener.
Yeah.
Just earlier today, I was doing like set up a secondary email account to verify my personal one.
Yeah, and for crimes.
And so I put for crimes, and I put in our podcast email account. So this is through Google, right? My regular personal one. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, you should set up another email account to receive this. I was like, that's such a good idea, Google. I'll do that. I'll make it the podcast one. I did that. And it's like, yep, we've sent a verification code to that email that you now need to input.
Sure.
I was like, cool. I was like, oh, didn't get it. That's weird. Then I checked the spam folder, and the email from Google with the verification code has gone into our spam folder of our emails, of our podcast email, which is it's all Gmail, it's all Google. Anyway, so the other thing that you have to put up with as a listener is that sometimes your emails might go to spam because even Google can't get past it.
We have had that before. People have said, hey, I read it a while ago and I haven't heard back, and we've checked spam and it's been there. Just know that it's you and Google. You're not alone.
And Google, they can't get in. I try to track that now, but it doesn't always work. Beggars can't be choosers.
Because we are on podcast o'clock every time.
Podcast o'clock. That's the time of day it is. Right, Cambo, we should get into it. This first one was in the subreddit Pix. And it was by user Pix Moderator.
Yeah, okay. Can I say, at time of recording, I think I know where this is headed.
Yes, okay. So this was titled, Reddit is killing third-party applications and itself. Read more in the comments. Don't worry, Cambo, I've got the comments here.
Thank God.
On July 1st, 2023, Reddit intends to alter how its API is accessed. This move will require developers of third-party applications to pay enormous sums of money if they wish to stay functional, meaning that said applications will be effectively destroyed. In the short term, this may have the appearance of increasing Reddit's traffic and revenue, but in the long term, it will undermine the site as a whole. Reddit relies on volunteer moderators to keep its platform welcoming and free of objectionable material. It also relies on uncompensated contributors. Oh, God.
Keep going.
It's just such a... Anyway, to populate its numerous communities with content. The above decision promises to adversely impact both groups. Without effective tools, which Reddit has frequently promised and then failed to deliver, moderators cannot combat spammers, bad actors, or the entities who enable either. And without the freedom to choose how and where they access Reddit, many contributors will simply leave. Rather than hosting creativity and in-depth discourse, the platform will soon feature only recycled content, bot-driven activity, and an ever-dwindling number of well-informed visitors. The very elements which differentiate Reddit, the foundations that draw its audience, will be eliminated, reducing the site to another dead cog in their newer engine. We implore Reddit to listen to its moderators, its contributors, and its everyday users. To the people whose activity has allowed the platform to exist at all, do not sacrifice long-term viability for the sake of a short-lived illusion. Do not tactily enable bad actors by working against your volunteers. Do not posture for your looming IPO while giving no thought to what may come afterward. focus on addressing Reddit's real problems, the rampant bigotry, the ever-increasing amounts of spam, the advantage given to low-effort content, and the widespread misinformation, instead of on a strategy that will alienate the people keeping this platform alive. If Steve Huffman's statement, "I want our users to be shareholders and I want our shareholders to be users," is to be taken seriously, then consider this our vote. Allow the developers of third-party applications to retain their productive and vital API access. Allow Reddit and Redditors to thrive.
Okay, so this is in reference, if anyone doesn't know, and if you listen to this show, I assume that you do, to the Reddit blackout. That's continuing further than some people were expecting. r/Pix being one of the bigger ones, right? That I think has not turned back on.
Right. You know what? I didn't even check that, but yes, quite possibly.
Yes, it was
meant to be just 48 hours. I think.
And then there were some statements, some emails leaked from the CEO of Reddit that rubbed people even further the wrong way. So some have decided to just indefinitely go dark. Now you were, I would say, your tone in that email was pained, but I wouldn't say pained in agreeance.
No, not at all.
Well, here's the thing: I do understand the want for third-party apps, and I even think the website should be, accessible to things like that. I think that there's a certain amount that needs to be given out, like, allowed to access your site and stuff, especially something as big as Reddit. Some of the arguments, I don't know if I necessarily agree with. Now, this is my realist take. Okay.
Yeah.
You and I, we've known some CEOs in our time. That's a weird sentence to say, but we've known some CEOs, right?
Yeah.
And I would say they're all fairly like-minded.
Yep. Sure.
I want you to go back to that comment in the first paragraph and read to me the second last sentence.
The second last sentence of the first paragraph. Yes. In short term, this may have the appearance of increasing Reddit's traffic and revenue.
I'm going to stop you there. That's all they care about is whatever they're, because obviously this is start of next financial year, right? July 1. They just want a big spike to get their share price and their profits up.
Yeah. I would say not just CEOs, but like the embodiment of companies.
Yeah. It's all bullshit.
That's what they care about the most, always. And because we live in a capitalist world where you can't not do that.
Yeah.
Unless you're willing to let somebody else come in and kind of take over, because we're driven by money. That's the society that we live in.
They need to report every financial year on how much they've gone up, and they better have gone up, I tell you that much.
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing. A lot of people really criticized Netflix recently because Netflix cracked down on password sharing. Something they threatened to do in the past, and they finally did it, and they kicked people off a network, and people were saying, you don't get it, Netflix. You think this is some kind of short-term whatever, but you're going to lose a lot of faith, and people are going to lose faith in you, whatever. Anyway, their profits are way up. They had record sign-ups.
Because people are like, but I do want to watch that show that I was watching that I used to just watch through my parents' account. So, I guess I'll buy it.
And I don't necessarily even agree with what I'm saying. I'm saying this is just what I know to be
this
true.
This is the real world that we live in. Yeah.
It sucks, man. Like, it does suck. But at the end of the day, the CEO of Reddit is a businesman, and he's probably making pretty good financial choices.
Yeah,
at least on paper, that will increase their share price.
Yeah. And I think something we need to talk about, we're talking about share price and stuff, but to me it has the biggest part about this is this will not affect, I want to say 95, if not more, % of Reddit users. The moderators and people campaigning for this want you to believe that it's a way higher percentage and that it will affect you, but it absolutely fucking won't. And I think the thing is, even just this blackout is like, I can imagine literally millions of people going on being like, what the fuck is this? Why can't I access this? What's this bullshit? I don't care. Give me back r/pics. Because I sit on the toilet and I scroll through r/pics for half an hour a day, and that's what I want to come to Reddit for. I think that because, okay, so I sort of looked into this a little bit because I was genuinely interested of like, all of this are really broad statements about API access, right? And it's not saying that people can't access, like you said, there should be the ability for people to access the API of a website. I don't actually necessarily totally agree with that. Like, I feel like it's just up to the company to say whether they want to share their knowledge or data.
You are right. There's no obligation to. I just think I think that a website that's big, community based, probably should. They don't have to.
Well, I think you're right in the sense that they should because it's a benefit to them.
Yeah.
Right? Not they should because it's going to be a benefit to the community. Because, I think that's why they would do it. Otherwise, they sort of don't really care. And I think what they've identified is we have allowed people access to our API to our detriment. And we want to allow people access to our API for our benefit. So people can get different sort of, like data, basically, like having access to an API can allow people to do a lot of data tracking, basically. So
the thing that makes Facebook billions of dollars, that thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I basically feel like I need to explain this further, which is what an API is. So the way that the model works, right, is, and I don't know actually if this is for Reddit, but just in general, APIs is when you put through a request, you're charged for that request. And normally it's like sometimes there's subscription models and stuff. So you might pay X amount for like 10,000 requests or something like that. And 10,000 is actually can be considered a small amount because of the amount of data that you can get. Then I heard about, some of these third-party apps saying, well, we'll go totally out of business. And I think there was even one person being like, we worked out that it would cost us like $57 million or something.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, $57 million, like that's a lot of money. Like, what could you possibly be spending that amount of money on? Because surely they're not totally pricing out everyone on their API. And I had a look at these third-party apps, and every single one of them that's complaining and on board is this are total Reddit clones, completely cloning Reddit.
Yeah.
But they have a different look and a different app. And so to me, this is like so obviously somebody it's the definition of like stealing a content, stealing an idea.
And look, we would know about stealing content from Reddit.
We know a thing or two.
Take it for two guys that know.
Exactly. And like, that's true. We steal, if you're going to say, content from Reddit, but we are not Reddit. These other people are just stealing Reddit and making it look differently. And that's why they're putting through so many requests and their API price would skyrocket, is because for every single post, for every single comment, they are having to put in like API request. And so it's like, that to me is not limiting what third-party applications could do, like something more realistic that isn't totally copying Reddit, but is, I don't know, providing interesting data or something on the use of Reddit. They could still, I'm sure, come out with their app because it's not going to cost billions of dollars because they're not looking at every single post and every single comment. And so I just totally get, to me, this is just such a dumb thing for people to be complaining about. And they're even sort of saying things like, okay, so obviously moderators must be using third-party apps to block bad actors and bots and things like that. That's what they've said in this. It's like we can't, as moderators, moderate our subreddits without these third-party apps, because then we'll let in a bunch of content that's not good for Reddit. But then they're implying that if they take away these third-party apps, Reddit will just sit idly by as bots and spammers and bad actors will just be rampant throughout their website and destroy their entire website. Like, let's say it does get worse. There will be a point where Reddit will be like, fuck, we need to fix this problem. You know those third-party apps? What were they doing to help the moderators do this? And we'll just replicate that. Like, the idea that Reddit will just sit on their hands because they're like, we've got all the money now, not thinking, a few months in the future where they start losing people off their website. Like, obviously they're going to fix this. They don't want their site to die. So I don't think that's a reasonable thing to say, well, without these third-party apps, Reddit will just be a shit show. It'll be totally fine.
So what you're saying is every time an API request comes in, you get charged. There's websites that are cloning Reddit, therefore requesting every single element of Reddit, therefore racking up a huge charge. So this isn't necessarily about getting money from developers, but lowering the cost because there'll be less API requests if they stop.
I imagine that's it too. I don't know the back end too much, but I do imagine there's probably some computing power required to fulfill all API requests, and if you knock out all those people that are just cloning the website, then you probably will have a much lower amount. I mean, it would be interesting to know what other applications use Reddit API kind of for the good of the website and what it sort of tracks and what it could be useful. But I think this is only truly affecting those people. And the other thing as well that you have to think about, right, is those third-party apps, they make money off their app. So they're duplicating Reddit. They are, I'm certain, taking out the ads that Reddit populates and putting in either their own ads or just removing it entirely, but they... I know one of the apps was you could upgrade to like a pro version, so they're getting money that way.
Yeah.
So it's like they are profiting off just stealing this entire thing from Reddit. We don't profit, Cambo, on this podcast.
No, we've been doing it for years, and we're pretty sure we're just about to turn a profit. If we keep going just a few more weeks, Nelson, I reckon we'll finally turn that profit.
I think we're hoping somebody will pay us to stop. And if that price is high enough,
we would take a payment. It doesn't even have to be that high, Nelson.
I think like $1,000 each.
$1,000 each, and we'll stop.
Yeah.
I will say just one last thing on this is there's maybe a certain cliche about Reddit mods. And I say this, you and I are Reddit mods.
We're Reddit mods. Yeah.
We're not good at it, but we are Reddit mods, technically. Where they say, focused on addressing Reddit's real problems. Rampant bigotry, terrible. Ever-increasing amount of spam, terrible. The advantage given to low-effort content in line with spam and bigotry.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Is such a cliche for Reddit mod that I don't even know what to do.
Actually, this is also cliche Reddit mod. It's talking about what Reddit relies on, which is volunteer moderators. Yep. Appreciate that. It also relies on uncompensated contributors. Have you ever done a post, Camber, and been like, and considered yourself an uncompensated contributor?
Every time I post on any social media, I've never once been compensated for posting on anything.
And you're so angry about it.
I reckon if I keep going, I'm just a few weeks away, Nelson, from turning a profit.
Yeah. Somebody will pay you. Somebody will get you something.
$1,000 and I'll stop.
Oh, God. Anyway, I think this whole thing has just been blown out of proportion. It's absolutely just one of those things where people have jumped on, I think, and not really looked into it too much or even thought about it too hard. And but in general, it's a totally fine idea to do from Reddit, and they're not going to shoot themselves in the foot. And people will live.
Yeah. Look, I don't know if this is coming through that clearly to the listener, but your neighbor is going hell for leather on those.
I know. It's like right next. It's like right next to me. Anyway, let's get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit was cross-posted to us by Just Judging Reddit, but it was originally by Kwame2390. Recite 90% of a movie and get $100,000. What are you watching?
Oh,
could you do it? Could you do it right now? Let's just say, because this is implying, well, what movie are you going to watch over and over and over again to eventually recite all of it? But do you reckon you could do this?
Look,
now? Or like, what's the movie that you would get the maximum percentage of? Let's say that.
Yeah. Look, there would be times in my life I probably could have done this. In Year 12 Media, we studied The Departed, and for a very long time, I knew just big sections of that script, like verbatim, word for word. Now, I don't know if I can confidently pick one movie that I could do 90% of. What about you? Do you think you have a movie that you would know that well?
I don't think I could do one that's 90%. That's way too high. I think I would. The highest percentage ones I'd have is like, and even then, probably not that high. Like maybe 20%, 30% is one is The Matrix.
Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure I had a VHS version of The Matrix.
What's the first line in The Matrix?
Oh, first line.
If I'm remembering, I don't know.
It's a phone. It's a phone call between Cypher and
Trinity.
Trinity.
Is it? Are you in or something?
Oh yeah, I think it. Is it? Are you in? Oh, it could be something like that. Yeah, I reckon you're pretty close. And then she's asking about. She asks if the line is tapped.
Yeah, and what are you doing? Like what are you doing? Nothing. I'm just in the Matrix. Oh yeah, it's cool. I'm just. Chilling.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yes. So that one, I think.
Okay, I can tell you, is everything.
Wait, don't tell me. I would have. Oh wait. Did you start saying it?
Yeah.
Okay, just say it. Whatever.
Is everything in place?
Is everything in place? Yeah. Okay, I don't think I would have got that anyway. But there is that one. I think I could do. Okay, and partly like after Agent Smith talks to Neo, in the the very first interrogation room scene. Yeah. There's this little line where Agent Smith says,
Yeah.
Where Neo says, how about I give you the finger and you give me my phone call? And after he says, how about I give you the finger, there's this little from Agent Smith. And it's like just the weirdest line. And I've replayed that scene over multiple times just to hear it. So I think that one would be up there.
Can I tell you something, Nelson? I did know that. I knew that you loved that line. I don't know why I knew that, but it's something I've known. As part of my spin-off podcast for Cancel Movie Report, we do a podcast called Casting Call, where we talk about original actors that were meant to play certain roles, and we put them back in. So we did an episode about Will Smith in The Matrix, kind of famous internet legend, and we recreated that scene. And I took Keanu Reeves out and I put Will Smith in, but I made sure I kept
Yeah, you gotta get them just
because it is easier, especially if it's just one character talking, to take out that whole section of audio.
Yeah,
but I clipped it to make sure, because it's between two
it
Neo lines. I kept that one bit of audio of him going,
Yeah. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. It's not even. Do you know how not worth it is? It's not even worth It's not even worth YouTubing this scene just to listen to it. No. Okay, that's just what I was saying.
Yeah.
But anyway, I watched that one. The other one actually is might be more surprising. Is the Ninja Turtles the '90s movie?
Oh, okay.
I watched that a lot when I was younger. When I was a kid, I watched that every single day.
I'd do okay.
And I used to get an apple when Casey Jones got an apple. He ate it with a knife. I would run to the kitchen, grab an apple, and sit in front of the TV and eat an apple with Casey Jones. Yeah. My mom thought it was brilliant. I think that's why I got to watch it so many times, because she was like, "Oh my god, he eats an apple. This is perfect."
If we're going by things I watched as a kid a lot, The Mummy, I'm sure I would actually be pretty good. How
about Star Wars? I remember you telling me whenever you went over to your grandmother's or something.
I watched Star Wars. I'd be okay at Star Wars, and then there'd be the more if anyone that knows me, it's obvious, but it'd be weirder for regular people. I'm sure I could recite large sections of signs. Parts that no one remembers, like the speech that the police officer gives when she arrives at Mel Gibson's house about having to go to a call at the local mall because her grandma was spitting on the skateboards. I know that speech.
Yeah.
For some reason. And it's a long speech. Yeah. It's quite a long speech. But,
Yeah. I knew this girl in high school who knew every single word to Bring It On.
Really?
And I didn't believe her. And then she started reciting it. And I reckon she literally went for 20 minutes before I was like, okay, I believe you. You've done enough of the movie now that I totally believe you.
Do you reckon as soon as she stopped, she's like, thank God, I was about to run out of what I remember.
Yeah.
I remember
21 minutes is all I know. Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Okay, so how about though, if we're doing this for a challenge, is there a particular movie that you would watch? I think I've got one. I've got an easy one.
Yeah.
It's The Artist.
Yeah, I was trying to think of that's good. That's good what you've done there.
There are some lines in it, just in case somebody says, no, it has to have lines in it. But at the very end, it's he has one line.
He says,
and you're like, oh, he's got an accent.
Yeah, he says, a wish of pleasure.
Oh, see, I didn't even know what it was, but you nail it.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to say the full sentence to be at 90% of the movie. So.
With pleasure. He says something like that. It doesn't matter what he says.
Yeah. It's you get 100,000.
What about A Quiet Place? I feel like there's not that much talking in A Quiet Place. Does sign language count?
Ooh, no. That's fine. You can
cool. Yeah. I reckon I could learn A Quiet Place.
Even Castaway is meant to have, percentage of film talking and not. It's meant to have a very small amount. But there are quite a bit at the start and at the end, I suppose.
But 50% of that is Screaming Wilson.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And I've got that bit down pat. So. All right, Cambo, let's move into Today I Advice. So now it's time for Today I Learned. Today I Learned. And also sometimes advice. This Today I Learned is by Good Samaritan. Today I learned in 1979, basketball legend Magic Johnson turned down an endorsement deal with Nike offering him 100,000 shares of stock and $1 for every pair of shoes sold in favor of a deal with Converse that paid him $100,000 annually. In declining the Nike deal, Johnson missed out on over $5 billion.
Can I tell you, I knew this fact, and I knew it for a really annoying reason.
Is it because you watched the Nike movie or whatever it was?
I have seen Air. It wasn't in Air. It was in a different piece of media that's a big ad.
Right.
There's a series on HBO called Winning Time, and it's the story of the Lakers in the 70s. And Magic Johnson is one of the main characters. And it's at least initially, the pilot was directed by Adam McKay, the guy that made The Big Short and Vice. And I think I had been talking to Stacey at the time about like, I really enjoyed The Big Short, but I'm starting to realize that Adam McKay has a really annoying style of like half documentary, half thing, and like break the fourth wall or whatever. And and it actually gets pretty tired pretty quick. And the example I used when I was explaining this to her, as I said, in Winning Time, they have the scene where the guy from Nike comes up and he's trying to get Magic Johnson to sign this deal, and Magic Johnson is like, "Oh, I'm going to go with Converse," and the narrator says, "Oh, you know, maybe one day he would regret that decision." And the guy from Nike turns to the camera and goes, "Oh yeah, he regrets it." And he goes, "Diddling," and shows the balance that he would have made. And I was like,
Also, I would love to actually know what Magic Johnson said, because he was probably like, whatever, I'm rich anyway, I don't really care. Yeah. He probably didn't care at all.
If you were, because he was pretty young, he was like 19 or so when he was signed. At 19, if someone said, now, you could have $100,000 now, or in 30 to 40 annually, or in 30 to 40 years, you could have, we don't know how much, but more.
Yeah. Maybe way less. We don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I always think some of these things are funny. And I was like, okay, the later you share this story, the more money theoretically that becomes, because presumably the share price of Nike might continue to go up.
What year
even
was
slowly over time?
What year did you say this
I feel
was?
like it was in 1979.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I just think it's funny to be like, well, like how long did he have to wait to get that $5 billion? Because if he's waiting almost his entire life,
well, I mean,
it's not a benefit.
My thought was, and the reason I asked what year it was, so 79. Essentially, what they're saying is he could have been Michael Jordan with the Air Jordan, right? Air Jordan has made Michael Jordan billions of dollars, and it's just passive. I learned that from watching the Air Jordan movie. Just passive income. Like, he doesn't do anything; he just gets checks every year for Air Jordan.
Yeah. He quit basketball after that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And he made Looney Tunes movies. So that was 1984. So 5 years after Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they're saying like he could have been Michael Jordan.
Right.
Is the claim. But I think like who would have ever known, you know? Like the thing is there's no reason to do it, because unless someone traveled back in time and went, Nike, the brand synonymous with running and not basketball, in 5 years' time will actually start being more known for basketball, would be a huge call. Absolutely huge call.
And then also, as you've probably learned in watching the movie The Flash recently, that if you go back and change the past, then you also change the future, which means that Nike might not be, maybe this deal Magic Johnson did with Nike ended up tanking Nike. So they paid him too much.
Yeah.
That $1 for every pair of shoes sold was actually made him go bankrupt. And Converse with the remaining
I would love does anyone in the NBA still wear Converse All-Stars? That would be shocking to me to see someone rock up in a pair of Converse All-Stars these days.
I
feel like basketball shoes are like a whole thing now.
Is if, let's say the exact same thing happens today. The exact same deal happens today, but in reverse. Where Converse is trying to, because theoretically that's exactly what it was, right?
Yeah.
Converse were always basketball shoes. Nike wasn't. And so if Converse went to somebody and was like, hey, you can have this deal and blah, blah, blah. It's exactly the same. Adjust figures for inflation. And for somebody to be like, no, I'm not going to do that because obviously Nike is a bigger brand and they're giving me money right now. And then if Converse became just as big, like, yeah, it's just nobody knows. I feel like he made the smart, sensible decision to get more money now.
This is why we will never be billionaires, Nelson. Because if we were going out for a drink with Magic Johnson and he said, I just turned down $100,000 every year to go with this other brand, Nike. Yeah. We'd be like, you idiot. What are you doing?
Magic, you freaking idiot. Yeah, that's us. Like we said, we'll stop this podcast for $1,000. It really doesn't take much. Just like somebody can be like, but in 10 years' time, you'll be a billionaire.
I got give $1,000 now. $1,000 right now.
Yeah. That's what I'm banking on. Okay, but we should move on again into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought was cross-posted to us by Gone Fish Caking, but it was originally by No Cilantro. But by the way, cilantro tastes delicious, okay? All you crazy people who don't like it.
Isn't it a genetic disposition?
What?
I heard it was a genetic disposition. Some people...
Oh, really? Yeah, like some people... Yeah, I think that's what people say to avoid the embarrassment of just not liking it. Okay. So I think so. Yeah. Red eyes in pictures quietly vanished from our lives.
So I saw this, and it made me think that No Cilantro might be a bit younger than us, maybe. Because I remember this being a big marketing deal when digital cameras were fairly popular. In fact, I remember, I think it was like my auntie or my uncle, we were away on holiday somewhere, and they were like, this is one of the ones that doesn't do the red eyes. Like it was like that was a big marketing thing, was like, this camera won't give you the red eye effect.
Canberra, am I crazy in thinking that the early digital ones were like, you would get the red eyes, but then it would like remove it?
Yeah, there was a switch.
So it wasn't that they didn't, it wasn't like you took the photo and it was fine. I feel like there was a period of time where it was like, you take it, and like, you still got those stupid red eyes, but don't worry,
I have the button.
Go over this, and like it has the button that takes them away.
It was part of the what I'm going to call the digital camera gimmick package, along with. Do you want a photo where only one of the colors is saturated and the rest are all black and white? Did you ever see that feature where it'd be like, we'll only keep the red color of your jacket and the rest will be black and white? Around 2003, that was a bit of a digital camera trend.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think it is funny. It seems like one of those things, right, where because obviously we remember this happening. Yeah. But if you just had, in like 200 years' time, people finding a picture and being like, why the fuck are all these photos with like people with red eyes? Yeah. Because there just seems to be like no conceivable reason why that should happen on a photo. And I just think it's a funny thing that we'll just forget and we'll be like, it's insane that we had technology that was seemingly so flawed that it just had this thing that was wrong with it.
And for decades, we all went, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah. We threw our hands over the air. We threw that photo in the bin because it wasn't worth it anymore, and that was it.
I think the thing that people underappreciate is the modern cell phone, mobile phone, smartphone. When you take a photo, how much processing goes on? Because you might just take a photo, but let me tell you, your camera takes about 12 photos. And it compiles them, and it HDR maps them. And if you're taking a selfie, it shifts your eyes a little bit up to hit the lens and not your screen because you're looking at your screen. And it clears skin tones, and it removes red eyes. And It's purely just this like software innovation.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
But we noticed.
We noticed. Here's another one. This is by Slade. 2121. There might be past leaders that were thought to be poisoned, but really just allergic to their food.
Do you think that famously Caesar stabbed 40 times in the Senate did that to himself accidentally?
Yeah, he was just allergic to knives.
All the other senators are like, well, we're going to get blamed for this, aren't we?
Yeah. This was not us.
You're not.
Well,
the whatever the equivalent of the police back then barge in, the city guard, and all the senators like, you're not going to believe this. But he did that to himself.
We're confident that he did this to himself.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's funny you say that because this shower thought did make me think of another scenario, which is it was common that there would be somebody who would taste the food of a monarch or whatever to check that it wasn't poisoned first. And I thought what's so interesting is if they were allergic to the food and so they seemingly got poisoned.
Yeah.
Then the kitchen staff would just be killed, probably. All of them beheaded, just because this one dude was allergic to something. Like, oh my god, somebody's tried to assassinate the king.
Tried to poison me with anaphylaxis, are we? Are you sure the guy that tasted just wasn't anaphylactic? No. I'm pretty confident.
No. Yeah.
I'm not sure, so we're going to kill you just in case.
Yeah, there are so many chefs in the world. I'll just kill you guys and get some more. Pretty unfortunate for those people.
Yeah.
I'll just do one more. This one I thought was one of those ones where you're like, "Whoa, my god, I never even thought about that." Okay, it's by Thus Spoke Gabba. There were dinosaur fossils when dinosaurs were still around.
Yeah, that's how fossils normally work, I guess. Because I think the thing that maybe people sometimes forget about dinosaurs is they were around for so long.
So long.
Like millions of years.
And then there was so long between us and them. And it's nuts that
there's
been alive for so long.
I'm confident in saying this without being able to back it up in any way. But there are dinosaurs in like Jurassic Park that were like millions of years separated in actual history.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Anywho, let's get on to podnapping.
Oh my god, I'm being podnapped!
Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of a conversation or a segment from another thing, and we do it ourselves. This week is my week, and I've gone back to a good friend I like to call Sporkle. Which is a website with lots of like
quizzes and games.
Different quizzes and things, and just so many of them, Cambo. So many are image-based, and it's really annoying that I can't steal them. But occasionally there'll be one that is not image-based. I've gone with one that's called Characters in 2 Words. But I'm actually going to give you the one word first because I think some of these are really easy.
Okay.
Actually, I think a lot of them are really easy. But I've realized I think significantly easier with 2 words.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd start with the one and then we go from there. Okay, so the first one. Is it clear? I'm going to give you one word, and then you have to guess what character might be represented by that word.
Sure.
And if not, I'll give you 2.
Yeah.
And anyway. Okay.
Okay.
The first word and character. Groovy.
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers. Here you go. Next one. Dark.
So dark?
Yep.
Batman?
It is Batman.
Yeah.
Second word, night.
Night, yeah.
This one, okay. Whopper.
Whopper. Is it the King from Burger King?
Yes, Burger King. Yeah. I just realized I didn't preface this by saying they're not like all
like
movie characters.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And Burger King is the home of the Whopper.
Yes. Father.
Father. This could be a few. Darth Vader.
It's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
What else are you going to go with?
I mean, like Mufasa. I was thinking of cinematic, but really, I'm sure it is like, is the second one like your father or something?
It was actually Luke.
Luke, yeah, Luke father, yeah.
Yeah. Phone.
Phone. Phone. Okay. Is this a real person?
No.
Okay. Phone. Phone's a hard one. I don't know. Nothing has sprung to mind. Colin Farrell in Phone Booth, perhaps?
Oh, no. Incorrect. The second word is home.
Oh, E.T., yes, of course.
Yep. So obvious, isn't it? Once you know.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, yeah.
Because the thing is, E.T.'s an idiot, and he doesn't actually know how phones work.
Yeah, stupid idiot. Next one. Bar.
Bar.
I'll say it's B-A-H, not B-A-R.
Okay. That does change it. Bar.
Yeah.
Shaun the Sheep.
No. Next word. Humbug.
Yes, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh, I thought you might even just say Scrooge. I was going to give you an extra point for Ebenezer, but because you said it in one, I'm leaving it as the same points. Fingery.
Okay.
Sorry. Finger.
Finger.
This one's a harder one to go off, I think, with just the one word.
Yeah, finger. I'm assuming finger makes up maybe part of a quote that they're known for. Okay. You're okay. That's
Give you a confident look there, did I?
The Fonz.
No. Next word is topiary.
Is topiary?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This one probably might be the hardest of all of them, but it is Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Finger. Yeah. Edward Scissorfingers. Yeah. Of course.
Scissorfingers. Yeah. Bolt.
Frankenstein.
Oh, it's Frankenstein's monster, Cambo. You idiot.
I think you'll find, Nelson, they're actually the same in a way.
You know what? That rings a bell. I think they are the same. Yeah. Yabba.
Dabba-doo, that's Fred Flintstone.
Correct.
It's a monster.
Yeah. Precious.
Gollum / Smeagol.
Oh, do you know that I actually changed Precious because on the website originally it was Smeagol.
Oh, really?
Like, that's not even remotely difficult. You've just said the name.
Who's this character? Frodo.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Fava.
Fava.
Yeah.
Not father, but fava, as in a nice Chianti with some fava beans,
yes.
etc. That would be Dr. Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, it is correct. Hannibal Lecter. I should have started with beans for that one.
He didn't go through all those years of medical school to be called Hannibal Lecter. He's Dr. Hannibal Lecter. Thank you very much.
I will not call him that. I've stripped him of his doctorhood.
You don't have the authority.
Eating.
You don't have the authority to do that, and you will address him as Dr. Hannibal Lecter, please. Or he will eat your liver with a nice Chianti and some fava beans.
That sounds so gross. Lightning.
Thor.
This one's more difficult with just
Zeus?
one word. No. Forehead.
Oh, Harry Potter. Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Yeah. There's so many lightning-based people.
Yeah. Honestly, he's the least lightning-based person.
I would have gone to the Flash before him. He's always striking lightning everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. Who?
Who?
Yeah.
The boy who lived was Harry Potter.
Ooh. Is it a double whammy?
I wouldn't think so.
It's not.
Who?
This one's
Doctor Who. The Doctor.
Oh, that would have been really good. But no. Here's.
Horton?
Horton.
Yeah.
Here's who.
Yeah, okay.
If you had got that one off who.
Yeah.
Right, amazing. Egg.
Humpty Dumpty?
Humpty Dumpty. Correct. Yeah. I've realized this
again,
one is...
again, of course, based on the Ricky Gervais stand-up bit, but there is no evidence in that rhyme that Humpty Dumpty is an egg.
Yeah.
It's only the illustration.
He's always pictured as...
Yeah.
I've just realized that I can't possibly give you this one. I'm going to have to change the word.
Okay.
Whip.
Indiana Jones.
The two words for this was hate and then snakes. I was like, if I just give you hate, then that's going to be difficult. I could just have mistakes. Anyway. Okay, this first one is here's.
Johnny. Is it Jack? Is it the character Jack Torrance from The Shining?
It is Jack Torrance. Well, you even got both names again. That's
again.
I was going to give you multiple points.
He didn't go through all those years of medical schools to be called Jack Torrance. Dr. Jack Torrance.
Dr. Jack Torrance.
He's the doctor of murdering.
Professor.
Doctor of murdering families.
Yeah, his own, just one.
Yeah.
Shaken.
That's James Bond.
James Bond. Zelda.
Link.
Link, correct.
Yep. Or as I call Link, Zelda. It annoys Stacey whenever I say I'm pretty sure that guy's called Zelda. I say it just to annoy her, and it does every time.
You've annoyed so many listeners that play Zelda. Okay. Tattoo.
It could be Elizabeth Sandler from the Girl with the Dragon
Wow,
Tattoo.
Kevin, you got it in one. That was so good.
Is it?
I was going to give you Dragon first, and I thought that was too far away. And then I was like, Tattoo, I think is pretty good because I
just said Sandler, but I think it's actually Sadler. Elizabeth Sadler.
No, it's Salander. So close between everything you just said.
Yeah. But no points, obviously.
No, zero points. Umbrella.
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins, good boy. Good boy.
Do you think so?
Again,
Thanks,
that's
Dad.
because this next one.
Yeah.
I'll say, again, the clue is boy.
Boy.
This is hard just to beat. This is really hard. Just with the one word. You basically need the two for both of these.
I'm going to say Boy Wonder. I'm going to say Robin.
No. Stays. It's Stays boy. Really, it's like the
Stays boy. Oh, Peter Pan.
Peter Pan, yeah. Spinach.
Popeye.
Yep. Yo. I tried to give you a hint with the inflection.
Yeah. Is that Jesse Pinkman?
Oh, no, it's not. But honestly, getting them confused in the way that they say yo is probably not.
Yeah. Because I feel like he's always like, yo, Mr. White.
Yeah, right. The next one is Adrian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you need to be more guttural. Yo.
Ew.
Okay.
Ew.
You gotta have that deep back of your throat slow. Hey, what's going on? It's me, it's Rocky Balboa.
Okay.
I just want to say my favorite Sylvester Stallone impression of Rocky Balboa, by the way, is in the TV series Big Mouth. Nick Kroll voices Sylvester Stallone, and he always just says, "Wow, that's great." Like in every appearance, he's always like, "Oh my God, is that Sylvester Stallone? Yeah, it's me. Hey, well, that's great." I don't know why, but it always makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's funny. Ra. Yeah.
Ro? Is it Scooby Doo?
Oh, it is Scooby Doo. Oh, good work, Kevin. That's a good one. Pipe.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes. Good work. Slinger.
What's the other word? Is it Deerstalker?
It was elementary.
Yeah. So what was the word you just said?
Slinger.
Slinger.
Yep.
Slinger. Oh, I don't know. Slinger. No, yeah, I'm going to have a second word.
Web.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You idiot. You've lost so many points just because you didn't get it off Slinger.
This is obviously Miles Morales.
Miles Morales, yes. Meth.
Now, I went with a Jesse Pinkman before, and that was wrong.
Yeah.
But this clue makes me think I am in the right franchise.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Walter White.
It is Walter White. Yes, good job. Melting.
You
can hear the power tools, can't you?
Yeah.
He's going nuts at it again.
Just check that he's not, up to nefarious things.
I just want to say it's 6:30 at night. Like it's not. It's not super late, but it's not really the right time for this.
Appropriate time.
Yeah.
Sorry, melting. Is it the Wicked Witch of the East or West?
Oh, Wicked Witch of the West, Kevin, you idiot. Okay, last one.
Yeah.
And you have to get this off one word, and if you don't, you've failed the entire quiz.
Okay.
Acme.
This could be a few characters. I'm going to say Wile E. Coyote.
Oh, you got it, Kevin!
Yeah.
Well
he uses Acme products the most. I don't know why. They never work for him.
They never work. He should get his money back. Anyway, you've done. Good job.
Thanks.
There was actually quite a lot there, wasn't there?
There was actually quite a few, yeah.
I think it's actually really interesting how iconic some characters are that you can just get them from one word like that. Isn't that such an incredible thing? Like, or maybe it's really sad. I don't know. That we know this.
To be fair, does anyone ever mention fava beans outside of referencing Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah. No, nobody even eats them anymore because it reminds them of Silence of the Lambs and cannibalism.
Yeah. Do you reckon the fava bean industry was watching that movie being like, oh no, this is going to be terrible for us?
It's like we've spoken about on the show before, but the wine Merlot in the movie Sideways super dropped in value after that movie came out, just because the guy didn't like Merlot in the movie, and that was the only reason. But yeah, like just so many things, like Shaken for James Bond, so obvious, and even Tattoo. You got Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. You got Elizabeth Salander from that. Like, I just find that really amazing that some of these characters can just be so recognizable from one word.
Yeah.
Anyway, now it's time for the Ask Me Anything. Listen to the show, just like you can write in and ask us anything. Oh, yeah, it's a really long episode.
Do you want me to just do the short one at the end?
Yeah, okay, do that one.
Okay, as from Liz. How do and all that. The Lord of the Rings is rated PG-13, and as such, it allows one F-bomb. Where do you put it?
I feel like there's an obvious "you shall not fucking pass."
Oh, I was thinking Gandalf would be good. Because I want to hear Ian McKellen swear. There's a bit I've always really liked towards the beginning where Bilbo's like, "You wanted the ring to yourself," and he goes, "Bilbo Baggins." And I thought, if he went, "Bilbo fucking Baggins."
But I think Yeah, okay. I think there would be one good one where like I'm not sure exactly at what point, but I'm pretty sure at one point in the movie they crest over a hill and they see how far they have to go to outdo, and I just want Bilbo to be like, fuck, or Frodo to be like, fuck. Look, it's like, damn, that's a long trip.
Technically speaking, PG-13 would allow one F-bomb per movie, but I would want to save it. I just want one through the whole trilogy. Yeah. It's right at the end of Return of the King when he drops the ring in and everything explodes and everything's going down. And, you know, they go out and they're resting on the rock of Mount Doom thinking they're going to die. Yeah. I just want him to go, fuck me.
Yeah.
That was tough. That was really tough.
Yeah. Or even in a similar scene where Gollum is like falling in because he's chased the ring.
Yeah.
And he's like, "My prayer." Oh, fuck.
As he hits the lava. Fuck. Just one long extended F-bomb as he melts into the lava.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for writing in, Liz. If you would like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast @gmail.com. You can also reach us at Facebook, Twitter, and our subreddit.
What's that, Nelson?
Oh my God, I just went to the default again. Shit. Okay. If you'd like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast @gmail.com.
Correct.
You can also reach us at our Discord, links in the show notes, and our subreddit.
Yay!
If we don't decide to join the blackout, because maybe we will.
And
maybe we will.
If you want a blackout of this show, $1,000 each ought to do it. I would suspect.
It's not that much, guys. I'm pretty sure you could pull your money together.
Pull it together.
All right, that's it. So thanks for listening, and we will read you later.